So as we move into a romantic relationships, which is where we are focusing today, because that's where Mjola is, and that's what Kelly and her friend they were singing, and Kelly and Nelly were singing that song, and they're talking about the entanglement of relationship. That I am with this person, but I love that person. What does that mean? So am I just with this person because they provide certain things that I need, but this is the person who actually loves me? Those are kind of challenges that you guys will be facing and are confronted with. Uyu ndiye anopa, sustenance, but uyu ndiye anondiita kuti ndifeel special. So the confusion, how do you deal with that confusion? Where there are two words when it comes to relationships, romantic relationships, which you are primarily focusing on today. There are two words, love and infatuation. So there is love and then there is infatuation. Infatuation is just the titillation of the potential or possibility of a relationship. In other words, some would just outright say infatuation is lust, where you just enjoy the outward manifestation of a relationship. Other than that, there is no depth, there is no meaning, there is no intention. It's just almost like a hit and run. So infatuation is fantasy, where you just dream about certain things, but you actually don't mean them or you don't want them. Infatuation is temporary in its very nature. It only sees the perfections. So the nice clothes, the right kind of curves, the muscles for the boys, the money, the car, the house you're staying in, material well-being. I mean, that's what it just looks for. And in infatuation, also, there's no trust. Infatuation is just we trust each other when we're in each other's company. The minute we leave, it's each man for himself, and I don't even know what's going on there. There's no accountability there, and I'm never settled. Infatuation, 90% of the times is about sex, or the outward manifestation of what perceived love. So just as I say, the titillation, the excitement, the need, the physical needs being met. And then infatuation, you can actually be infatuated with more people than one person. So a girl can desire to be with more than one guy, or a boy would want to be friends with and romantically involved with more than one girl. That's infatuation. It usually leaves the space for doing that. And then there's great deal of uncertainty in infatuation, as it really just focuses on admiration. She's the most beautiful girl on campus. She's the most well dressed. She's the most down to earth. So it's what other people like in her that end up driving you towards a particular relationship. And then there's no ability to commit in infatuation. Infatuation has no commitment whatsoever. You don't stay down. You don't stay down. There are no boundaries. So you're not willing to commit. And another thing with infatuation, something we talked about already, is an unreasonable desire to overpower another person. So there's wanting to be control. So if you're in a relationship where there's too much control, be careful that it may be infatuation. Where someone wants to know what time you woke up, what are you wearing, who are you going with, where are you going, when are you coming back, how are you coming back, who were you with last night, what were you doing when you didn't answer your phone, can I read your messages, I want to see what pictures are there, why do you have a picture with this person? It's you just want to overpower and control another person. And we talked about sexual attraction. That's the basis of infatuation. It's lust orientated. All you want is the physical satisfaction that you get from the opposite. With infatuation, you also get to feel very empty, as you don't get emotional satisfaction because there's no trust. There is no talking. There is no communication. There is no quality time spent. There is no accountability. It is just one of those. We are at university. We are in semester one. Therefore, let's hook up, friends with benefits type of thing. That's what infatuation is all about. And then infatuation begins with seconds and also ends in seconds. In other words, it's when those people say love at first sight, most probably it's not love, it's infatuation. Because it finishes as soon as you see the next beautiful or handsome guy. Then you think, oh, this is the new one. And then you dive onto that other one because this one no longer appeals to you. And infatuation, you can't live an eternity in infatuation, very temporary and very short term. But whereas love, there's reality. So love reflects the reality. This is the situation. This is Rutendo. This is Peter. I know Peter to be this kind of person. I know Rutendo to be this kind of person. The reality is that, you accept each other as you are. You accept the imperfections. You accept the shortfalls. You accept the things that need improvement. Love also lasts for a long time. There's the deep sense of commitment in love. So yes, I do believe in university sweethearts. We eventually get married. That it's very possible, even high school sweethearts, that you can find love there. We may start off as infatuation, but it can grow into love. And so there is that possibility and that potential for people to understand. Um, we'll speak about some of these things later on because it then talks about your levels of maturity and how you then get involved. And you also don't want to get to a place where you start getting bored by a relationship because then as you begin to grow, you begin to discover and you begin to experiment and you begin to observe and you begin to see a better looking person or people than the person that you had committed yourself to. That's why there's that need to grow up and to mature so that when you do finally make the decision, you know what, you don't have a reverse gear. You're not looking backwards. You're committing yourself to move forward and to accomplish that which needs to be accomplished. And then love is not about sex, but it's about building a relationship. It's about spending quality time. It's about getting to know the other person. It's about respecting boundaries. In infatuation, there are no boundaries. But in love, there are boundaries. There are boundaries because there is accountability. And love is usually for one person. You begin to exclusively commit yourself to one person. That begins to reflect some sort of semblance of what love is all about. And then deep, intense feelings. With infatuation, it's just admiration, lust, like for that dress or for those curves or for those muscles. Whereas with love, they're intense feelings, they're emotions there. So you can definitely fall in love. The only danger of falling in love is that usually you fall head first and you injure yourself. And as a result, you develop scars. So, depending on age and time, you need to walk in love, walk into love. Don't fall into love, walk into love. That's important. When you fall into love, it's usually just infatuation because that's when you do head first. Whereas walking in love, you go feet first. If you've ever bathed in a river, you just don't jump into a river. You walk in your feet first and you slowly see how the water is. That's what love is all about. And with love, you can commit to marry because you realize the deepness of the emotion, the intensity of the emotion, the commitment to one person is right there. And love is about a deep emotional bonding with another person. So you look at one person and you say, I'm deeply committing myself to this. Every day in love is a decision and commitment day. Nothing ever happens by luck or by some chance. You work at it. You work at it. In love, there's truthfulness and loyalty. You feel secured and confident, and love begins slowly but becomes intense when time passes. You can live an entire life with love. That's where we end up coming to church and we say, until death do us apart. There is a clarity of thought in mind that this is what I've committed to. And it's important for us to have those.